Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos and Abuja. A reminder of our top stories. Malaysian Prime Minister announces that missing MH370 may have crashed into the middle of the Indian Ocean. Former Head of State General Muhammadu Buhari slams lawmakers over the alleged 20 billion naira unremitted NNPC funds. National conference resumes in Abuja, delegates divided over rules guiding proceedings. And Agriculture Minister Akinwumi Adesina discovers cold rooms stocked with rotten fish in Lagos, orders inventory of all cold rooms in the country. Just a quick reminder to you that all our top stories are on our website, ChannelsTV.com, and on YouTube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Of course, you can now interact with the channel's Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions to share your reports, pictures and videos. Well, speaking of those reports, and here are some of them that we received today. Now, this picture sent in from Eket, Akwa Ibom State, South Nigeria, shows a fuel pumping machine displaying the price of 113 naira per litre. Now, this eyewitness says this is just the tip of the iceberg, as it costs as much as 180 naira per litre in some parts of the state. He is asking the appropriate authorities for help. And another eyewitness from the northern part of the country is also raising an alarm, but this time over Lake Chad, which he says is drying up pretty fast. He says governments around Lake Chad should speed up action to save the lake. And here in Lagos, this eyewitness says men of the Nigerian police chased this Pathfinder Jeep with a yellow bus onto the expressway at the Mile 2 area of the metropolis. He adds that the Jeep was eventually hit by a trailer. Well, that's a very sad one there. We'd like to thank you all for sending in your reports and to ask you to do keep them coming. Now, a former managing director of the defunct Intercontinental Bank, Mr. Erastus Akingbola, is challenging the jurisdiction of an Ikeja High Court to entertain the theft charge against him. In two separate preliminary notices of objection filed by his counsel, Mr. Wole Olanikwekun, Mr. Akingbola informed the court of the applications, which he said ought to be taken because the matter was starting afresh. He argues that the issue of jurisdiction is crucial to any criminal charge and must be addressed before the plea of the defendant is taken. But counsel to the EFCC, Mr. Emmanuel Ukala, argues that the applications offend Section 262 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Lagos State, which provides for speedy dispensation of criminal matters. In a short ruling, the judge upheld Mr. Olanikekun's argument that the application should be held first before any further step is taken on the matter. He then fixed April the 2nd for hearing. All right, over now to our Abuja studios. Here's Linda Akigbe. Linda.
Thank you, Joma, and welcome to the nation's capital. How to sustain the confidence of the public in the judiciary appears to be a major concern of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mariam Aloma Mukhtar. It is on account of this that Justice Mukhtar is warning judges to stick to their oaths of office and abide by the demands of the Code of Conduct for judicial officers. The Chief Justice gave this charge in Abuja at the swearing-in ceremony of 25 justices of the Court of Appeal, saying any form of misconduct and disloyalty from judges will be severely dealt with. How many delegates will it take to decide on an issue if a consensus cannot be reached? This was a major point of disagreement among delegates during the debate to consider and adopt the rules that would guide proceedings at the national conference taking place in Abuja. The delegates also contested a rule which proposed that the conference chairman will appoint chairman and deputy chairman of committees that will be set up. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi, who is covering the conference, has this report.
Next issue had to do with voting during the conference.
75% or 3/4 of delegates means 369, a number that is obviously humongous and elephantine and behemoth. I think, sir, we should go to the normal consensual something in a lot of parliamentary proceedings across the world for very serious matters, and that is the two-thirds majority voting.
I think all sensible mind in this conference should go along for a 75% support of the majority of members of the conference present and voting. We wish we would avoid voting, but if it came to that, it would have to enjoy the support of 75%.
The delegates were unable to agree on this issue, putting it off for another day. The delegates also disagreed on the power of the conference chairman to appoint chairmen and deputy chairmen of committees that will be set up. It was eventually amended to reflect that committee members will pick their chairmen. Delegates were divided in their assessment of the day's session.
Let's say by the time we start moving slowly, that we should be able to get across all of these teething problems. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a arduous task. That's one thing I've learned from this first day today. But I don't want to use the word, it's an impossible task.
The debate was brilliant, contribution from all parts of the country, and the chairman, the vice chairman, the secretary and the supporters were just superb.
It's essential that members agree on this so that we can now proceed in a smoother manner. Yes, maybe time has been taken on things that maybe were not necessary, but I think it's important that we all agree on where we want to get to. Like most members have said, it's essential we are here to talk about Nigeria.
The conference adjourned to Tuesday at 10 a.m. Delegates are expected to conclude consideration of the draft rules and begin work in earnest. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
The police say they are doing all they can to reduce cases of crime and criminality in the country, especially the rising tide of Fulani herdsmen attacks on villages in some parts of the country. At a meeting with top officers of the force in Abuja, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Abubakar, listed lack of prompt information and inaccessible terrain as some of the challenges hindering his officers. He's also appealing for the cooperation of all Nigerians in ensuring a secure nation.
Some of the difficulties we encounter is the terrain of the place. Secondly, information comes to the police probably very late because of our network situation or network problem in this country. And thirdly, in all of this attack, as I'm talking to you today now, when the first attack happened in Benue, about 10 days ago, as I'm talking to you today, I have 4 units of mobile policemen right from the headquarters here, which was led by the DIG operations and CP mobile, right inside the bush, guiding those innocent souls with their round hearts and thatch houses. Remember, most of these places, if you check, there are no existence of police stations or police posts. So the commissioners of police in respective command has to grapple with the manner they will take policemen to such places, and they will remain there permanently. And equally remember the Fulani herdsmen you are talking about, they are not domesticated in one place. They move from one place to another, from here to Cameroon, to Niger, to Chad, and every part of this country. One of the challenges we have is years back, there were grazing places, there were routes for the Fulanis to follow. Today, the story is different.
And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks, Linda, all the way from the nation's capital, Abuja.